Imagine stepping into a Mennonite kitchen where the air is warm, filled with the scent of baking spices, and the counters are lined with pies, cookies, and cakes, all without a single granule of refined sugar in sight. Mennonite desserts are an experience all their own, rooted in tradition and crafted from nature's own sweetness. The flavors are rich, deep, and earthy, capturing the essence of fruits, grains, and natural ingredients that make refined sugar feel almost unnecessary. At the heart of Mennonite desserts is an artful use of ingredients like honey, molasses, and dried fruits, each bringing its own unique profile to the table. There's a philosophy behind their recipes, to highlight flavors rather than overpower them. It's about creating balance, and each dessert speaks to a profound understanding of what makes ingredients shine without extra additives. One of the most cherished treats in the Mennonite dessert repertoire is choufle pie. A molasses-based pie with roots in Pennsylvania Dutch culture. It's sweetened naturally with molasses and has a deep, almost caramelized flavor. The filling is rich and gooey, contrasting beautifully with the buttery crumb topping. Choufle pie is a perfect example of a dessert that's indulgent but grounded. Molasses offers a distinct, almost smoky sweetness that makes sugar seem like a distraction. Alongside choufle pie, there's another favorite, the wet bottom pie. Similar in concept, it also uses molasses but with a wetter consistency, creating layers within the pie. When it's baked, the molasses settles at the bottom while the top remains cake-like, offering a contrasting texture with each bite. This dessert is typically served with a generous dollop of fresh cream, enhancing the molasses' earthy richness without additional sweetness. Fruit pies are central to the Mennonite dessert tradition. Rhubarb, apple, and peach pies feature heavily, showcasing the natural sweetness of the fruits, with just a touch of honey or maple syrup to enhance the flavor. Mennonite bakers understand that each season brings its own flavors, so they make the most of what nature provides, especially in summer when fruits are at their peak. The crusts are often rustic, made with whole grains that add a satisfying, hearty texture to balance the fruit filling's sweetness. Then there's the famous apple butter, a dessert spread that has a deep, concentrated apple flavor. Unlike jams or jellies, apple butter is slow-cooked for hours, sometimes overnight, until it reaches a thick, rich consistency. The only sweetener is the natural sugar from the apples themselves, enhanced with warm spices like cinnamon and cloves. Spread on fresh-baked bread or spooned over oatmeal, apple butter brings a depth of flavor that lingers, leaving a satisfying hint of sweetness without any refined sugar. Cookies and bars are also common in Mennonite kitchens. One example is the oatmeal molasses cookie, which combines oats, molasses, and a hint of cinnamon. The molasses gives the cookies a warm, almost toasty flavor, and the oats add a chewy texture that's incredibly satisfying. Another classic is date squares, a layered bar made with a mixture of dates, oats, and sometimes a hint of orange zest. The natural sweetness of dates makes these bars taste rich and complex without needing sugar at all. Cakes are another area where Mennonite bakers shine. Honey cake, often baked for special occasions, is made with, naturally, honey as its sweetener. This cake has a moist, dense texture and a subtle sweetness, with flavors that deepen the longer it sits. Sometimes it's spiced with cinnamon and nutmeg, adding warmth and complexity. A slice of honey cake paired with tea feels both luxurious and wholesome, a treat that comforts and satisfies without leaving you craving more sugar. Mennonite desserts also include a variety of puddings and custards, like bread pudding. This dessert, often made to use up leftover bread, is soaked in a mixture of eggs, milk, and honey or maple syrup, then baked until set. The result is a soft custardy dessert with pockets of warm spices and a touch of natural sweetness. Often topped with a drizzle of cream, bread pudding is a testament to the Mennonite philosophy of not letting anything go to waste. Then there's the simple yet unforgettable applesauce cake. This dessert is moist and flavorful, with applesauce taking center stage as both a sweetener and a source of moisture. The applesauce is often homemade, full of flavor, and spiced with cinnamon and cloves. This cake is the kind of dessert that feels nostalgic and comforting, a reminder of home and family gatherings. The flavor is subtle yet satisfying, the kind of sweetness that feels nourishing rather than indulgent. Mennonite dessert traditions extend to beverages, particularly the making of fruit shrubs and fermented drinks. Apple cider is a common choice, made from freshly pressed apples, and sometimes spiced with cinnamon and cloves for a comforting warmth. There's also the unique practice of fermenting fruits to create naturally sweet beverages. These drinks carry a touch of sweetness from the fruit itself, a refreshing alternative to sugary sodas, and offer a hint of complexity from the fermentation. In Mennonite culture, desserts are not merely a way to satisfy a sweet tooth. They are a celebration of the natural world's flavors. By relying on ingredients like honey, molasses, fruits, and spices, they create desserts that feel deeply connected to the earth and the seasons. Each bite carries with it a sense of place, of time-honored practices that respect the ingredients and traditions passed down through generations. For those who have grown accustomed to sugar-laden treats, Mennonite desserts offer a refreshing perspective. They remind us that sweetness can be found in simplicity and that nature provides everything we need to create flavors that nourish the body and soul. Each dessert is an invitation to slow down, savor, and appreciate the beauty of pure, unadulterated flavors. As you enjoy a slice of choufle pie or a spoonful of homemade applesauce, you may find yourself forgetting that sugar exists at all. In the Mennonite kitchen, sweetness is more than a taste. It's a feeling, a way of connecting with the food, the land, and the people around you. Expanding on the concept of Mennonite desserts that celebrate natural sweetness, let's dive deeper into how these desserts are not only crafted to be delicious, but also to foster a lifestyle of mindful eating and connection to nature's rhythms. Mennonite dessert traditions highlight the interplay of flavor, texture, and nostalgia, pulling from generations of recipes that rely on simple, whole ingredients. Each dessert is layered with cultural meaning, using ingredients sourced from local gardens, farms, or forests, which are often preserved for use in colder months, sustaining the family's love for these treats year-round. One defining characteristic of Mennonite sweets is the seasonal nature of ingredients. Mennonites place importance on eating fruits at their peak ripeness, not only for flavor, but to celebrate nature's abundance. This means that during late summer, desserts made with plums, blackberries, and peaches become favorites. Plum kuchen, for example, is a rustic plum cake made with minimal sweeteners and a dense dough that enhances the tartness of fresh plums. Sprinkled with a bit of honey or a dusting of whole grain flour on top, it embodies the spirit of late summer, connecting family members to the harvest season. In the fall, apples and pumpkins take center stage. A classic Mennonite dessert, like apple kuchen, a sort of cake or tart topped with spiced apples, serves as a comforting reminder of the fall harvest. Apple pie fillings are often sweetened solely with fruit juices or boiled cider to concentrate the apple's sweetness without adding sugar. Another dessert, pumpkin custard, is made with pumpkin puree, fresh cream, and just a touch of maple syrup, offering a rich, earthy taste that feels as nourishing as it is indulgent. Winter brings dried fruit-based desserts, like apricot bars or date-filled cookies. These fruits, dried during the harvest, are soaked and simmered with spices to create a natural sweetness. Dried fruit offers an intense flavor, each bite reminding us of the sunnier days of summer and fall. Adding nuts, like walnuts or pecans, enhances the textures and provides an earthy depth, showcasing the Mennonite appreciation for whole, unprocessed ingredients. Many Mennonite desserts have been handed down for generations, not just as recipes, but as expressions of community and continuity. These recipes often use ingredients that can be stored and enjoyed over time, like root vegetables, grains, and preserved fruits, so that treats can be enjoyed through the long winter months. Root vegetable-based cakes, for example, use carrots, beets, and even parsnips, which add moisture and sweetness without any need for refined sugars. A classic Mennonite carrot cake, for instance, uses grated carrots, honey, and spices, offering a naturally sweet and moist texture. The method of using preservation techniques such as fermenting and canning is not only practical, but also infuses the ingredients with deeper flavors. Mennonites use preserved fruits, like spiced peaches or sour cherries, to make pie fillings in winter, bringing a bit of sunshine to the colder months. Even in desserts, there's a rhythm that reflects the cycles of nature, a quality that turns the experience of eating into one of reverence for the earth. Dairy is another central component in many Mennonite desserts, adding richness and a creamy texture to complement natural sweeteners. A favorite is the rich, creamy rice pudding simmered with milk, a dash of cinnamon, and sweetened with honey or raisin juice. It's a dessert that feels hearty and homey, nourishing as well as indulgent. Milk custards, another favorite, are made with fresh milk, eggs, and a touch of honey, bringing out the sweetness of the dairy itself without needing any added sugar. For special occasions, Mennonites sometimes make old-fashioned confections using maple syrup or honey as a base. Maple fudge, for example, is made by boiling maple syrup until it reaches the right consistency, then adding a bit of cream to create a smooth, melt-in-the-mouth texture. The flavor is distinct and satisfying, allowing the maple's natural complexity to shine. Honey caramels are another cherished treat, combining honey and butter to make a soft, chewy candy with just enough sweetness to satisfy. Each of these desserts is a testament to the Mennonite connection to the land. By using ingredients in their most natural form, Mennonite desserts are a reminder of how flavors can be intensified and celebrated without modern processing. These recipes show that satisfaction and sweetness are found in simplicity and authenticity rather than in excess. In a Mennonite kitchen, desserts are crafted with love, care, and respect for tradition. They serve as reminders that a life lived with intention and harmony with nature can be incredibly fulfilling, and that when it comes to sweets, less is truly more. The rich flavors of honey, molasses, seasonal fruits, and dairy, combined with traditional baking methods, create treats that make each bite meaningful and memorable. For those who try them, Mennonite desserts offer a unique experience, transforming the ordinary into something timeless and deeply satisfying.